Okay, so I'm gonna simply explain this in the best way possible. All young heroes are not the same, so I'm not gonna treat them like they're the same. So while you can have one young hero that's prone to crashing out, you can absolutely have another one that is 100% chill most of the time. Everybody has a different response to stress or trauma that works for them, and I'm not gonna hold you for yours unless it's exceptionally fucked up. Then another thing you kind of have to take into account is that a lot of these young heroes actually loved fucking fighting, or at least the ones we thought were really cool, like Rex, who came from the top rope with the smack hands on first appearance. But then you got people like Steven, who are full-on pacifists and don't even like to fight. Hell, you've barely seen Steven actively get angry at anybody. As a matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, he tries to get his ways through conflict through not fucking you up. And sometimes it don't work, and he absolutely has no choice but to choose violence. And when he actually hurt somebody or couldn't save them, he felt horrible afterwards. But I'm not gonna lie, at least 2 of the 3 examples you gave were crash out motherfuckers. At the age of around 10, the absolute worst thing that happened to him was when he thought Gwen died in Secret of the Omnitrix. And guess what he did right afterwards? Crash the fuck out. Finn was originally crash out prone. Hell, being in water, which he was irrationally afraid of, was one thing that made him crash out. Hell, at some point, Finn just crashes out just because. You remember that time he was on the dungeon train that was never ending? And he just kept wanting to whoop everybody's ass and get more loot the whole entire time? Hell, at one point, they got a crystal ball that saw the future, and all they saw was Finn as an old man still whooping these monsters' asses for no reason. And the crazy thing is, he was okay with that future. Okay, I don't know any young heroes named Bruce, so I assumed you meant Bruce Wayne. Dude lost his parents in front of him, and guess what happened? He spent the rest of his life becoming and being Batman. That was the freaking crash out. Now, like I said before, Steven's crash out was built up. It was never something that just popped up immediately after the trauma started. It was something that was built up to a boiling point, mainly because Steven's background and parentage didn't exactly allow him the ability to process any of it. And when he grew up and started getting that 15 hindsight on how fucked up his past was, it started piling up on him. And even then, he kept trying to bottle it up, making himself even worse. Does any of their crash outs invalidate the other? Fuck no. Everyone had their own reasons for crashing out, and if you look at it through their eyes, it makes perfect fucking sense. The only ones that were questionable to me were Finn's, and that's just me. Then you also had to look at the support systems that each of these heroes had, because just being around your family and friends can actually somewhat dictate how you deal with stress or trauma. For starters, outside of the alien shit, Ben was born and raised in the suburbs, had both parents with him and a dog, has a whole granddad who's an ex-plumber, and a cousin who was with the shits too. All of them, as far as I could tell, a normal background for a family life. So there was never a time that he didn't have the support that he needed whenever shit got rough. Hell, even Asmith would pop out the cut to help Ben when he was low. Bruce had Alfred, who as far as I can tell is everybody's favorite member of the Bat family. And Finn had Jake. Need I say more? My point being, all these characters had solid support systems that did not overly rely on them and could provide support and help when needed. Steven's case was unfortunately somewhat the opposite. All due respect to the Crystal Gems and Greg, but they did not know exactly what Steven needed at the time because he was such a unique case. The Gems really didn't understand humanity, so when it came to addressing Steven's humanity, they didn't know how to support it. And while Greg provided some of that shit, he didn't exactly allow Steven to be human either. Hell, Greg wouldn't even acknowledge his own side of the family, and Steven had to kind of find out by accident. Stack that on top of Steven being somewhat the source and also the medicine for a lot of Gem's emotional issues, and you got a crash out waiting to happen. Honestly, the dude needed to log on BetterHelp and book a therapist because he did not know what the hell was good for him, and no one else did either.